Hello everyone, welcome once again to Agent Carter Discussions. I am Captain Logan, and with me today is Dan Torrey.
Hey everybody.
And Steve Baxi.
Hey everyone.
Manos could not be with us tonight, so we're doing the Sans Manos. So we miss you, Manos. Hope you're having a good time. And now, let's go ahead and jump straight into Ascend to Air. What is this, episode 6?
Yes.
6? Man, only a couple more episodes of this to go. I'm bummed, because it's still so much fun. Okay, Steve, what did you think of this episode, sir? Give me a best moment or worst moment.
I wasn't crazy about it for the first 10 minutes, and then I found out what was going on with the scientist guy hypnotizing people and Peggy's secret being out, and then I just got really into it. I thought this one was really exciting. Everything we got with Peggy being overzealous in her investigation and hunting down the Stark X's, and the creepy stuff we get in the background with Dottie and the guy who's almost certainly Dr. Faustus at this point, because there's no one else he could be. Considering just what he's doing.
I have a disagreement about that. We'll speak about that.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I hope it's Dr. Faustus then, because he would be a perfect choice for that character. But yeah, I love all of that. I love that we're 6 episodes in, there's only 2 episodes left, and so this is the natural place to get Peggy's secret out, but it still feels like they're doing everything really, really quickly. Yeah. It's insane just how fast the pacing is, despite us being almost finished with the series. I love the ending when she gets captured anyway. We don't do like an on-the-run story for the next couple episodes. But although I think my big one complaint is, I'll just go into my worst moment first before my best, is when she's about to escape and the Daniel guy shows up and he doesn't shoot her because Peggy says, "You won't shoot me." I didn't really like that. I thought that was really kind of cheesy. Just considering like that's the obvious way to go, and the show usually doesn't do that. But other than that, I thought all that stuff was great. I love that Thompson is really taking Peggy seriously, and that he's ready for her because she's capable of taking out all of those agents. That she's being treated like an equal after she's not able to do her job, and that she's a fugitive. They finally take her seriously in that respect, and I think that's really interesting. My best moment's a little bit comedic. I like Carter and Jarvis just going around finding Stark's ex-girlfriends. Yeah, because I love the jokes between those two, and I love, even though it's a little bit generic to just have Jarvis get slapped constantly, it's still really funny. And I really enjoy that actor and the way he's able to play some of that stuff off. But I think this is my favorite episode so far. This one was really good.
Dan.
Oh, it cut out for a second. I thought you just said yeah.
Dan, it's your turn to speak. You have the talking stick.
So I really, really like this one, and I have a disagreement with Steve about the Dr. Faustus thing. I think this is clearly their version of Ringmaster. He's the guy who hypnotizes people and uses his ring when he does it. He's got to be Ringmaster.
Yeah.
So I really like this episode. It subverted my expectation at every step. I agree with Steve in that the one way it went in a typical direction was when Daniel didn't shoot her. I was like, yeah, that's a little typical, but I was on the edge of my seat the whole time when I thought Ringmaster was going to get assassinated by Dottie, and he ended up being a Russian spy, like, in on it. And they kind of foreshadowed that at the beginning of the episode, where they showed that he used to be part of them, and I thought maybe he had defected. I like that he's an undercover agent, he's inside, he's doing stuff. That's all really cool. I expected Agent Carter to get away in the car. I didn't expect Dottie to like make out with her and have the lipstick from like a couple episodes ago come back. I'd completely forgotten about that.
Yeah, me too.
The writing of the show is the plotting is really tight, and I like that about it. Everything they show us matters and comes back, and they pay it off. They're really smart about the way they're doing all that stuff, and it's so great. It's a very far cry from people in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I would love if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got to be this tight in its plotting. It's really great. I would have to say my favorite moment of the episode was the fight in the diner. That all the choreography was really cool. The fact that Peggy just toys with these federal agents that are like the best trained the United States government has, and she's able to take them down that easily. I thought it was so awesome. And my worst moment was probably the scene in the alley where Daniel doesn't shoot her, because that was the one moment that I didn't think was completely stellar and had me on the edge of my seat. And didn't subvert my expectations of every other action sequence did, because this was a very action-oriented episode. It kind of moved from action set piece to action set piece as he's being pursued throughout the city, and I liked that part of it. It was very cool. So, yeah. It seems like every time we talk about one of these episodes, I say this is my favorite one so far, and I think I'm going to say that about this one, too. I don't know which one I like better, because all of them have been stellar so far. I'm really, really pleased with the show.
Yeah, well, I think one of the reasons that, I'll go ahead and give them my 2 cents. I think one of the reasons that you guys are saying that is because, the individual episodes are certainly good and well handled, and feel like there is a definitive place to start and place to end. But it's one really, as you said, tightly told and interwoven narrative. So I think a lot of the reason that every episode you guys are saying this is my favorite episode so far is because we're moving towards something, and you're seeing a complete story. It would be like if you were to watch Winter Soldier in segments, and if you did that, then you'd be like, well, my favorite part so far is where is where Sam Jackson is being shot at a lot in that truck, and then later you'd be like, well, there's this other thing that happens that's even cooler than that, So that's what we have right now. This is a bona fide miniseries. This is an old school miniseries. When you watch old televised miniseries, because we don't do a lot of those anymore. I never think about the individual episodes. It's interesting to name them, actually, because a lot of the time it feels like it's just a 4 or 6 hour movie, and this is absolutely that. I don't have a great deal to add from what you guys said. Like Dan said, the big thing I got from this is just continuing to bring back plot points and character stuff that I had completely forgotten about. I love that, like, the guy who got beaten up by the chair from the pilot shows back up. There's that guy again, and it's still embarrassing, and that was cool. And that whole thing about you were transporting explosives, and I was like, yeah, that guy's never gonna work again. There was this it's a really tense episode. All the stuff. I was surprised, by the way, that it continued to be intense in the apartment building when she's outside on the ledge, and that never lost me, and I never got bored with it, because that went on a good long time, and it was just really well structured, and it was really complexly structured, and I enjoyed that, and I thought that she was incredibly smart and didn't seem to get off in like a really cheap way whenever she would manage to escape the SSR agents' gaze, and they're trying to find her and all of that. The Russian guy that Dan thinks is ringmaster was I thought he was brilliant. I'm with Steve. I didn't know what was going on early on. I wasn't minding it because I'm trusting the show, and also that actor was just like really good, and I was really interested to see where it was going. And also, I'll disagree with you, Steve. I wasn't bored there because we were learning about the SSR boss, and I thought it was really cool that suddenly we got personal stuff from him. We're finding out about he and his wife not getting along and all of that. Like, we've been doing a really good job of making all of these individual agents characters when they could have really easily been stereotypes, and that's been excellent and way smarter than I think the show had to be. Above and beyond. That's really nice. This is neither here nor there, and is just a me thing. But that Russian guy kept reminding me of a Tick villain. In the live-action Tick, there's this villain called Destroyo, and he does exactly what this guy does. First of all, he's Russian. His real name is Destroyovich. And he does exactly what this guy does, where he is able to read people with very little information about them and then convince them to commit suicide. And it's hilarious. This whole episode I kept thinking Destroyovich. And then when Dottie was like, I've got to kill Agent Carter, I was also reminded of the live-action Tick pilot where you had the robot that was like, kill Jimmy Carter. And so my wife and I, through the whole episode, just kept looking at each other and going, kill Agent Carter. And that was kind of funny. I don't know. My best moment was probably the fight in the automat, because it's so well choreographed and was amazing. And I've been waiting for that big set piece to be used as a big action thing, and they finally did that. And then the second best was probably Jarvis constantly getting slapped by women, because for some reason I just thought that was hilarious. Especially because it wasn't his fault and he didn't do anything. I also keep comparing, obviously, the two Starks, Howard Stark with Tony, and they're really similar, and I keep wondering which of them is worse in the way they treat people, and as this continues, it's going to be interesting to kind of dissect it and analyze it and see just how similar these two men are, and if they are different people. Because there's been a complaint I've seen here and there where it seems like Howard Stark is too close to Tony Stark, and I don't know about that. There's subtle differences, and when it's all over, when it's all said and done, I really want to kind of compare and contrast them and see just how different I think they are. That whole like Stark giving every woman he slept with a bracelet as a parting gift reminded me a lot of a thing that was done with Lex in Smallville. And speaking of Smallville, one of the bad guys in this episode is another crypto freak, and it's the guy. It's one of the two guys who got persuasion powers, who were like the really terrible door-to-door salesman. And we got the other terrible door-to-door salesman like 2 episodes ago. They've used both of them as bad guys in this show. And I think it's really funny that they used one in this episode with a guy who's able to persuade people to go kill themselves. And that's what that guy did in that episode. So I just thought that was really funny. I think somebody watched Smallville, because they got Lionel Luthor last episode, so... Anyway, okay, so let's go ahead and open it up for more discussion. I guess we should do quotes. So, Dan, did you have a favorite quote, sir?
Let's see. I didn't write any quotes down specifically, but I did like the kind of thing when her name is escaping me at the moment. Peggy Carter's friend, the one that's genuinely a friend.
I can never remember her name either.
Angie, I think.
Angie, that's it.
Angie. I loved the scene where she was pretending to get all worked up about Peggy's grandma. She looks at the agent and she's like, "What's your grandma's name?" I thought that was pretty funny.
Dan, Steve.
I didn't have any quotes, but I think that would be it. What Dan said with "What's your grandma's name?" I think that's hilarious.
I think there is a quote in this episode that is some of the best writing in this whole show, and that is, "A firecracker goes off and then just lies there. What you're looking at is the 4th of July." That's brilliant. Okay, let's look at some questions and comments, and while I'm looking at the questions and comments, did you guys have any other scenes or specific plot points, anything that you wanted to bring up and talk about, discuss further?
Wait, wasn't that quote Fish Mooney in Gotham?
Oh my god, it was. And that's why I was wondering where in the world it was in this episode. You're absolutely right. I put it in the wrong spot. Okay, well, just tack that on to Gotham then. Oops! Yeah! I was sitting here trying to figure out where in the world that was. Okay, well, that's one of the best lines in Gotham, and had it been in this show, it would have been one of the best. Okay, well, that show doesn't get a lot of great lines. Anyway, wow, sorry about that. Fumbled the ball there. Oh, somebody said Badlands are where bikers hang out. Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, good.
It's also
good to know.
A great Springsteen song.
Is it? Is it? Okay. Oh man, I feel really stupid for having done that. Okay.
Well, it is the burden of doing 6 shows every week.
That's what happens, man. Whew. Whew. I'm lucky we weren't talking about a different episode. I'm not seeing a lot of stuff about this particular show. Do you guys have anything else you want to bring up about this episode?
Pyramid had said Boba Fett should have stayed dead. He is wrong.
Okay, look, that's not about it. Stop doing that, Dan. You are sabotaging the show more than I am.
I'm just responding to the viewers' questions and comments, Captain.
And I think that one...
They need to be relevant to Agent Carter discussions, Dan.
Boba Fett's relevant to everything.
Okay, okay, Dan, no more talking. So Divot22 says we might find out who Tony Stark's mom is. That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. If they do the whole Marvel Now thing of Tony's got a long-lost brother, I think it could ultimately work better in the Marvel Cinematic Universe than it would have in the comics, because that story really lost me.
Not seeing a lot else here. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do trivia questions really quick. Dan, do you have a trivia question for Agent Carter?
I do, and mine is related to Ringmaster. In the comic books, Ringmaster is a character. He's kind of an obscure Marvel villain, so I don't know if you guys have read anything with him. They used him a lot in the early days. He showed up in the early issues of Hulk and Spider-Man and Daredevil and stuff. And he's a secret agent disguised as this like ringmaster circus guy, and he goes around and hypnotizes people and does missions for a specific character who created the technology he hypnotizes people with. I want to know who that character is.
Cool. Steve.
So my question is a Black Widow one. In the comics, who is the very first person to hold the title of Black Widow?
That's good. I'm surprised you didn't go for that last time.
Yeah, last time it was the male ones, and now I want to maybe Dr. Faustus, but considering it could be Ringmaster, I guess I'll save the Faustus one until we get some kind of confirmation.
I think Dan's making a really good point with the whole he's got a ring thing, and I kept wondering about that because I don't know anything about Ringmaster. I spent the whole time he was doing that going, okay, he's obviously actually manipulating people with some kind of technology. Are we wondering, or do we know for sure if that's Stark tech? I just thought of that.
Yeah, that's a good question. Ringmaster's a guy that does show up a lot in early Captain America stuff, so it could be Stark related, it could be War related, it could be SSR related, but it's hard to say right now.
What are you going to say, Dan?
Well, I'm going to speculate based on the answer to my trivia question.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, because I have a question first. Hold on. Okay, my question is, during what event does Howard Stark pick up the most chicks? That's my trivia question. Okay, Dan. What was the answer to your trivia question? Since you got an anchoring to hurry up and say it. Go ahead.
In the comic books, the Red Skull builds Ringmaster's technology. He manipulates people with. It's a hypnotism hat thing, and they gave him a ring in the show, obviously, because a big goofy top hat with a big swirly thing on it would be kind of ridiculous. So I think it would be kind of cool if it was the Hydra Tesseract technology kind of thing.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Because we haven't done anything with the Red Skull in the show or anything in any of the subsequent Captain America-related things. And since this took place right after World War II, I think it would be cool to bring some of that stuff in. Do a little bit more with Hydra and the Nazis and stuff.
Well, especially because Steve's presence, not Steve Baxi's presence, that's felt all the time here on Geekvolution, even when he's not here. But I think that Steve Rogers' presence has been felt really, really hard through this whole show, especially with the the plot point about his blood and all of that. By the way, I'm interested to see where that goes because I think she's got it on her person when she's being interrogated at the end. I think so. That's, if I'm not wrong about that, that's gonna be really interesting. I just thought about that, but I'm just thinking like doing that with Red Skull would be a great idea, Dan. Yeah.
I think it would make a lot of sense because after the war, American and Russian, both of those governments took in Nazi scientists and had them make stuff for them. And a lot of the scientific advancement we had post World War II was Nazi technology that we repurposed and stuff like that. So I think that would make sense. It would be really cool.
Steve,
and that's something they haven't touched on here yet, and Winter Soldier plays with that a lot. So this could be the beginning of all that.
Steve, what is the answer to your trivia question, sir?
Okay, in the comics, chronologically speaking, the first Black Widow is a psychic woman by the name of Clairvoyant.
Oh.
The Clairvoyant.
It's the Clairvoyant! And then it turns out that person is not actually clairvoyant. Until they are and can see everything. Oh boy, I love that. That is my favorite trivia question ever on this show, Steve. Well done. All right. Well, my trivia question, the question was, when does Howard Stark pick up the most chicks? And it's during the Academy Awards time. The Academy. I love that line. The Academy Awards is a busy time. I thought that was really funny, and name drops of real celebrities. I thought was really fun. Yeah, that totally cracked me up. Once again, informing the movies a lot. You know, when we go back and we see Tony Stark doing that kind of stuff, it's gonna be hard not to think, yep, the Academy Awards are a busy time.
I think it was dark this entire episode how disgusted Peggy was with Howard Stark, like even more than usual.
Yeah, yeah.
Like every time she would hear something from Jarvis about the way he like has his love life, she would just act completely disgusted.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, he's
in a way British people can. I don't know. It was great.
Well, if you think about it, you know, she's really, you know, upset with him because he's taking advantage of the very thing that's making it hard for her to advance her career, and they're supposed to be friends. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, it's really great. All right, well, that is, I think, going to be it for us today on Agent Carter Discussions. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We sure appreciate it. Everybody that's watching live and participated in the show, thanks for doing that. We sure appreciate it. We'll see you here in just a second for some more stuff, so don't go anywhere, even when I say bye, because I'm not saying bye to you. I'm saying bye to those people. And anyway, thanks for watching. We sure appreciate it. I am Captain Logan, and this was Spider-Dan Torrey.
See you later, guys.
And that sound means we're all out of time. And beware the Steve Baxi.
See you, everybody.
Thanks for being here, folks. We sure appreciate it.